In this video, I'm going to be breaking down the Instagram content strategy that every mortgage pro should be following in today's day and age to get exclusive inbound leads and dominate your local marketplace without spending a single dollar or relying on referral partners to scale. I mean, it's 2024. You probably already know it's important to have a presence on social media, but haven't really committed to it yet. And that's okay. What we'll do in this video is break down exactly what you should be doing on Instagram. So before I dive into what mortgage professionals should be doing to post on Instagram, I first want you guys to understand why it's so important. So in order to do that, I first want to evaluate and bring up the Pareto's principle, right? So, and if you've never heard of that before, it's basically the saying that 20% of our actions, 20% leads to 80% of the results, right? So if you're owning a business, 20% of our actions, whether it's cold calling or whatever, leads to 80% of the revenue, 80%. Now something similar can be seen in the mortgage industry, right? So the fact is 20% or even lower, 20% or lower are responsible for over 80% of the volume of deals. Exactly, right? So there's a great discrepancy between the top performing loan pros, mortgage pros, and the bottom, or even the average, right? So what we want to do, obviously, is increase our volume of deal flow, right? So it's very important for us to be following and doing what these mortgage pros are doing, the ones at the top 5%. So what I have right now on the left side is a screenshot from experience.com, and it's a website. They basically rank the top loan mortgage pros in the United States, right? So I went about to see what were some trends that I saw, right? And something that I noticed was that they all have dialed in Instagram pages. They all do. And it's not a surprise. It makes a lot of sense, right? And so let's just dive into one of them for an example, right? So here's Scott Evans. And just to see his track record, right? He's closed $2 billion in transactions, right? He's a top loan officer in San Diego, right? And he's number one in VA volume nationwide. He has a track record, right? So one thing you'll notice is that he has a very, very strong Instagram presence. Very strong. Right? It makes a lot of sense. I'm sure a good percentage of his leads are actually coming inbound on Instagram. I know for a fact, right? So if we just look at his Instagram, I mean, it's not zoomed in here, but I'm sure he has, I think it says he has over like 2,000 followers, right? He has a strong social presence. He even has workshops online, right? This video was one that I found from YouTube, but he also does live workshops and it's posted on Instagram, right? This was a new home buyer event that he was educating, and then he posts videos of it on Instagram. This guy understands the value of social media and Instagram. It's not a shock that he's getting $1 million. I mean, it's not a shock that he's closed $2 billion in loan transactions. It's not a surprise, right? Just look to the right here. Look at all of his reels clarifying people's common questions and objections, educating the marketplace, building trust over time to prove that he is an authority in his industry, separating himself from the pack. You see, me personally, if I wanted to buy a loan, I'm going to go to him. If I'm in San Diego, I'm going to go to this guy, right? I'm going to stumble across some of his reels. He's going to educate me. I'm going to build trust with him. And that reciprocity bias is going to make me want to work with him. There's so many loan officers fighting for scraps, honestly. But these people are coming to him inbound because of everything that he's done already. See all of this? This is all questions that he's been helping and providing value. And let's look at Derek McGowan. This was another guy, right? So in the first half of 2024, he closed 115 deals. He reached 33.8 million in volume, right? And just take a look at his presence online. Something similar. He has over 5,000 followers, and just look at all of his content. He has content answering a bunch of questions that people might be having. So your prospects, your leads, they have questions. They have questions they need to get answered, and they might not just ask you straight up. They might not ask you straight up, right? So sometimes they might land on this guy's Instagram. They might look at his reels, and he's educating them. Oh, he also answered this other question I have. Oh, he also answered this other question I have. Oh my goodness. Damn, the first half of 24, he did 33.8 million in volume. This guy knows what he's talking about. I should go with him. See, that's something that's going around in your prospects leads, because in 2024, like, especially if you want to target the next demographic of like home buyers or people that are going to be interested in your mortgage business, it's going to be very important that you leverage social media to get their attention, right? And so, yeah, I'm sure people are coming inbound in order to get the help they need from him, right? So now that's enough praising those guys. Let's dive into what most mortgage pros are doing, right? So this was like a couple screenshots I did from like my research online. I covered their information because I didn't want to like expose them or whatever. But yeah, let's look at these pages, right? Just look at it. If you are a prospect and you came across this page, how does it make you feel? Do you feel like they're a person of authority? Do you feel like you can trust them with one of the biggest decisions of your house, whether it's to buy a new house or whatever? Would you trust them? No. These are like very cookie cutter basic pictures that anybody could make in literally 20 seconds. Literally 20 seconds to make this, right? The reason why most mortgage pros struggle with social media and content on Instagram is because they're inconsistent and create low value, impersonal content. This does not answer any of your prospects' questions. These accounts will never grow. They will never grow. This guy posted 6 posts. That's not acceptable, right? It's not a surprise that, yeah, just compare this to these guys right here. It's a night and day difference. These accounts will never grow. They'll never get inbound leads if you do this, right? So in order to elicit change, I want to show you guys what to do, right? So here's the beginner's checklist. It starts off with the first impression, right? As human beings, we're very judgmental, right? It's what we do to stay alive. And so in order to stand out and to start off, you need to make sure that you have a clean professional headshot. Look at this. Looks like $1 million, man. And you need to, again, this is really basic, have a relevant username, right? And then detail on what you do with social proof, right? And so, yeah, very simple, basic. Here's a bio, tells them that what they do, they're mortgage lenders. They have a call to action with the link for people to check out, right? So that's something that you can do. It's just that's like what you should have as a beginner. Now, if you made it this far, you might think that it's going to be extremely hard journey for you to accomplish. And I want you to understand that's not entirely true. And you see, most mortgage pros don't do any direct to consumer marketing. Most of them don't do anything, right? So if they're not marketing towards the consumer at all, do you think they're going to be posting on Instagram? No, that's something that most mortgage pros don't do. There's a very low competition in terms of Instagram content and building a personal brand on Instagram within a given region. It's very low competition, right? And the truth is, you don't even need 1 million followers. You might think it's like you need to be some celebrity or whatever. No, you don't. Look at these guys. These guys had less than like 5,000 followers. They had like between 1 to 5,000 followers, and they're top 5%, right? And you might think it takes you a lot of time or whatever. It's going to take too much time, but with AI and these other tools that I'm going to bring up, it doesn't have to take that long either. You can create a month's worth of content in just a few hours. Just a few hours. And if these people found the time, if these people were able to find time to do it, I believe that you should be able to find time as well, right? You should be able to find a few hours to do exactly this as well. So with that being said, let's dive into the types of content to post on Instagram. So there's 6 types of content that I want you guys to be posting, right? So it's educational content, client success stories, interactive posts, personal branding, collaborations, and success metrics. So let's dive into the specifics, right? So before we dive into the specifics, right, I want to show you the different types of content, right? So it's reels, feed, and story, right? So let's start off with the reels. So reels are short vertical video clips up to 90 seconds that can be discovered on the explore page, right? Its best use is for educational tips, client testimonials, and personal branding moments in a fun, engaging way, right? Reels are favored by Instagram's algorithm for organic reach and growth, right? Something very good, right? So Reels have the potential to go viral due to their presence in the explore section. So Reels are those very quick videos that you see. They're often the vertical ones, and oftentimes what people do is they use it to provide value. So if you look here, these two people, they spent a lot of time on this type of content, Reels, right? A bunch of videos, educational, that people can see, right? And then if it just so happens to go viral, right? You pick up an extra 100 followers, how many deals do you think that you'll be able to pick up, right? Something very engaging content. It's very easy to grow relying on Reels, right? So the next thing is feed, and I'm just going to bring up my own Instagram account. So this is where your permanent posts live. It's where your followers or new visitors come to see your content, or they land on your profile, right? So its best uses for high quality images or videos, educational content, and client success stories, right? And so also, since posts in the feed are permanent, they should be polished and well thought out, right? So in terms of the engagement that you get, people can obviously like, share, and comment, right? So this is my Instagram feed. As you can see, you can put like personal content just to show that people, hey, I'm a real people, whatever. And then, yeah, here are some posts and offers that I'm making, right? Just to drive engagement and content. It's more longer quality, high quality content for people to see, right? So yeah, those are feeds. And then here's stories, right? So stories are a little different, right? So stories are a lot more temporary, right? They last only 24 hours unless you save them as a highlight on your profile. So if we look here, these are your highlights. This is where you post them, but they originally were all story posts, right? So their best uses for behind the scenes content, quick market updates, or interactive features like polls, quizzes, or question and answer sessions that I will dive into, right? So yeah, it's a lot more casual, right? It's a lot more casual. So in terms of engagement, again, people can actually reply to your stories, and then they're an inbound lead automatically if they have some sort of interest, right? So if you look here, this guy, he leveraged it in order to like build a lot of social proof by displaying some of the wins he's been able to accomplish. But yeah, those are stories, right? I'll show you exactly when you want to use them as well, right? So again, let's dive into the specific types of posts and reels and content, right? So the very first one is educational content. Very, very important. And you want to create educational content that provides clarity on common questions and answer people's objections, right? So just for an example, like, hey, a quick video on the steps to a pre-approval, right? Is now a good time to refinance a home? You've been in the Mortgage Pro for some time now. You have a common list of questions that people consistently ask you over and over and over and over again, right? That's the type of content that you need to be posting. And you already know the answer. You're a mortgage pro, right? Just put on a quick, very simple video, post it online, right? You can put it as a reel or a feed post and just answer those questions in order to build your status delta, right? And like I said, the whole point of this is to prove that you're a person of authority and separate yourself from the crowd. Because, I mean, like, as we all know, people buy from those we know, like, and trust. Those three things, right? In a commoditized market like mortgage, it's very important to stick out. And the only way to stick out is by people essentially liking you and trusting you, right? That's the reason why if you have a referral partner, they choose to send the leads to you. It's because they know, trust, and like you. Something similar can be accomplished in order to get inbound leads, right? So I encourage people to create educational content to build people's trust in you until they like you and trust you and view you as the authority. And so the next thing that I want to post and have you post is client success stories, right? So you want to show what you've been able to do for some of your past clients, right? So with something very, very powerful are like storytelling, the before and after segments where you say, hey, this person was, maybe this person, we saved $200 on their rent. They didn't know, but we helped accomplish that. Or this group of people didn't know that they can ever buy a home and we made it happen. Yada, yada, yada. So just some video testimonials where they were confused throughout the whole buying process. We helped them every step of the way for a few months and for them to get their dream home. Storytelling. That's the way to influence people. Think about it. Ever since we were young, we've been telling stories. Those cavemen telling stories and whatnot. That's the way to influence people, right? If I'm in the same shoes of the person that was in your before, I'm going to relate heavily and want to do business with you. You were able to do that with them. Maybe you can do that for me as well. That's the whole point, right? So video testimonials as well, very powerful, right? And as a result, like I said, people who fit your past clients' archetypes will reach out to you, right? And then here's me again. So these are just like interactive posts. The next thing I encourage people to do are interactive posts. And so this is just me. I'm not a mortgage professional, but I played the part just for these examples, right? So you want to use Instagram's interactive posts to nurture your followers and leads, right? So because the truth of the matter, people might not be ready to buy now. They might not be ready at that very, very moment, right? But they have a good level of interest, right? They have interest. That's why they stumbled across your page. That's why they followed you. They have interest, but right now might not be the right time. And what's holding them back? Oftentimes it's a lack of information or the timing is just not right. So what you want to do is you want to provide the information, but if you don't know what the information they need is, you're stuck. So what you can do here is just surprisingly just ask them, right? So with these question and answer, you can say something like, hey, ask me anything mortgage related, boom. And then you can just get a list of all the questions. And then with a few click of buttons, you can just answer them, right? You can do that, or you can personally DM them, personally message them. And like, if they're qualified, you can book them on a call and try and close a deal, right? Something else you can do to build up engagement is just ask them a few like questions, right? So this is a question like, are you considering refinancing, buying a home? Obviously, if someone presses refinance, they're obviously a refinance lead. And this is a lead that you didn't have to pay for, and it's exclusive. And if someone clicks on buying a home, you know that they're a lead for purchase mortgage. Something very, very powerful, right? So I love these interactive posts because they show like your personality and whatnot, but really people who are engaging and commenting, they're your warm leads. They're going to convert down the line. When the time is right, they're going to come to you. There's going to be free exclusive inbound leads. And so the last thing is personal branding, right? So what you want to do is share moments that showcase your personality, like participating in community events, hobbies, or even your morning routine, right? So again, it's just to build authenticity and trust. Like, you just want to be a person ultimately, right? Because I mean, we're in the business of working with people, right? So people want to like you, right? So yeah, that was very simple. But the last thing is collaborations. Oh, I love this part, right? So you want to collaborate with real estate agents, home inspectors or financial advisors to create joint posts, Instagram lives, or videos, right? So, I mean, this is not like the total list, obviously, but there's a lot of people that you can collaborate and make content with online, right? And then it's going to be mutually beneficial, and their leads can become your leads. Their followers can be your followers. You guys offer different services, but they're adjacent, right? So it's mutually beneficial at that point, right? So this cross promotion can increase your visibility and even create referral partners without begging, right? So what I tend to see is that people, they make like first time home buyer workshops. A lot of real estate agents are doing that. They have like Instagram lives and like workshops online for first time home buyers who are confused and whatnot. The guy that I actually showed, he was doing one, like I said, but you can partner with a few real estate agents and have them to show up. And now you can leverage their leads and your leads together to come watch it in order to build a mutually beneficial relationship, right? Something very, very strong. I never like to go beg for business. So I think that this is a great way to build referral partners that are mutually beneficial. And so success metrics, this is very important. I think this is the last one as well. You want to share your professional accomplishments, right? Such as like how many clients you've helped secure loans, how much in loan volume you've processed, right? So oftentimes the loan for a house or buying a house is going to be the biggest decision of someone's life. So, I mean, do you want to do it with somebody who's only closed one deal a year? No, of course not. So, I mean, if you have skin in the game and you're successful, you need to show it. You need to document what you've done because it builds a lot of trust. This guy right here, if I was in his area, I would work for him for sure. Because I know if he was able to do all of this, my situation is nothing to him, right? So, and it's not super hard either. These are the list of tools that you can be using. You can use ChatGPT for like ideas and templates, right? For full transparency, ChatGPT helped me a lot with this video, like templates and whatnot, some things that I should be speaking about, right? And I generally don't like to rely on ChatGPT to write like the full out script because you obviously have more information, but they can give you a rough guideline and start the process to help you out. And then Opus Clips, they can actually clip up all your videos, do the editing. It's an AI, and they write all the subtitles automatically. And something CapCut can do as well. And then Canva, it's very good for editing like photos and whatnot. Very simple, drag and drop, a bunch of templates. You don't have to be like a super duper great creative director that went to school for 10 years, right? It's not that complicated, right? So I just don't want somebody to make the excuse that, oh, it's too hard. No, it's not. You're just making excuses. And then the very last thing, super important, just be consistent. Just be consistent, and I promise you'll win your market. I promise you. Because the truth of the matter is, most mortgage pros aren't posting online. They're not posting online. They don't see it as important. If you're watching this video, you understand the importance of marketing direct to consumer. I'm going to assume so. So if that's the case, I want you to know that it's wide open for you. It's wide open. If you're consistent over time, I promise you, you're going to get a consistent level of deals and deal flow coming inbound from your DMs. I promise. I promise. I've seen it. I've seen it over and over again. It's a wide open marketplace, right? Just be consistent and you'll win your market. I promise. So this is how you can utilize Instagram to scale up your mortgage business. Yeah, I hope you liked the video, right? So if you do, just drop a like, comment, subscribe. I'm going to continue to be posting out content in order to share my knowledge and help you guys out because I truly care about you guys, right? And so, yeah, I mean, I also have a link to a school account, right? Where I'll be providing additional value. You can speak with me one-on-one and whatnot. So you can just join that private community. Yeah, and then also shameless plug, follow my Instagram. And yeah, that's about it. I wish you guys the best of luck and I'm going to let you go. Take care.